In our previous video, we have taken a 10,000 feet overview about GitHub Actions. Now we are going to create a GitHub action. The steps are pretty straightforward. Let's say name is practice workflow, and here on where are we going to deploy it, or how are we going to deploy it? That is workflow underscore dispatch. Here we can provide inputs. The inputs you can give like you can give a multiple choice, or you can give a string, or you can give integers. That details we will discuss in the next step, because we need to talk a bit more about that, right? Next we are going to do env. Env is the environment. So in this environment, I'll tell you much more about this environment in the upcoming video. Let's look at its jobs. In this jobs, this is first job. We are going to do a list of dictionary here. So first our jobs here. In that I'm going to give a job name called development. So as you know, we have a name. So I'll mention that this job is for development landscape. Okay, and runs on. This is one of the critical parameter. So how the GitHub action executes is like in Jenkins you have a containers, right, or a base machines, or in Ansible you have base machines or containers, right, where your playbook will be downloaded and getting it executed. Similarly, the moment you trigger the workflow, in the backend machine will spin one container instance, and then on top of that this code will be getting downloaded and will be getting executed. You will understand that. Let's trigger the workflow. That time you will come to know what is happening. So here we are going to do a runs on. I need to check the allowed runner details here. GitHub action sample. So I'll go for a quick start GitHub action. In this here I have a runs on Ubuntu latest. So I'll be getting a container name, or we call it as a runner. So I'm going to mention this as Ubuntu latest. Perfect. That part is completed. Next I'm going to do steps. In the steps I'm going to declare it as list. So first one is going to be a name is going to be step number 1. What I'm going to do here, run in the sense whatever your shell commands you can run it using run. I'm going to say ls-l to understand the files and folders presented here. Then I'm going to do a pwd just to understand the directory structure, and I'm going to do cat /etc star release. I want to know the version of the container which is running. Next I'm going to do arc. Just want to see the architecture, which architecture things are running on top of it. And I want to do, what else we need, pwd cat lscpu. So this many is fine. So can't we do this using this way? I'm going to create another step. Here I'm going to do pwd okay, and then I will do okay. And one more thing I'll do here is step number 1, and here is step number 2, step number 3, step number 4, and I'm going to copy the whole thing again. I'll put once again here, and here I will mention that this is test. Okay, this job is for test landscape. I want to let you know that what we are going to do here, because see, and remember guys, this ls minus l, this is very important, because we will be creating our own actions. So that time it will help you to define the paths and relative paths, absolute path, all those things will help you. Else that time we will break our head in finding out the rail path and all. Okay, now itself let's understand what is what and how it works. Okay, very nice. So we have defined the thing, enough is enough. Why this details? Okay, I want to provide a description. Okay, I'll give a small description. This is for testing the workflow. Okay, they should be happy. If they are not happy, okay, let's see them. I'm going to commit it. As I told you, I have already created, I have already installed this GitHub plugin, so that it is pretty straightforward. Rather, I don't want to go for this command level things and all. I don't want this anymore. It's pretty straightforward. I'll do that. Initial flow. Let me save it. Save all and commit changes. I'm going to save everything. I'm going to commit changes. Now I'm syncing it. Excellent. So everything is synced. Let's come to the repository first. Let me close, or I'll keep as it is. Very good. So I have a folder here, .github and workflows. Perfect. And I forgot to show you something. You are unable to see one folder here, right? But we have a folder here. Remember that if any empty folder, that will not list out in the GitHub. So you should create one empty file at least, then only that would be listing it out. Now you have two options. One is you can go directly so that you would be able to see the action.yaml file. Next is go to the actions directly. If you look at here, you are able to see practice workflow. Perfect. Now we are going to execute this practice flow, but I don't think this will be getting successful. Let's look at it. Why? We will execute this and we'll stop this video and we'll continue in the next video. Okay. In this case, what happened? Is it executing? Really? Oh, that's nice. Okay. If you look at this, this job is for development landscape. Perfect. I do agree that. Current runner version is 2.3220. Operating system is Ubuntu 24.4.2, and a runner image is this one. So this is basically the container that got spun up and executed, and runner image provider version and GitHub token permissions. We have already given the read write permissions and all. Perfectly fine. That will, these all, yes, we need to explore it, but later we will explore those things. Okay. Coming into step number 1, ls minus l. Anything else is there? No. There is no file in our workspace. Perfectly. Where are we? We are in home, runner, work, practice. So this is my home directory, and inside the home directory, practice. This is my workspace. Remember this path. Whenever you would be performing certain activities, you have to keep this in mind, and always you should plan your or finding or browsing the path accordingly, else it will throw some error. Point number 1. Point number 2. So pwd it is already printed. Okay. Here is the version. It is ID Ubuntu 24. It is running and it's a container. Or don't think that every packages will be getting installed by default. A lot of packages that you need to install it. So you may need to refer certain repositories. That's the reason we should print this, so that we will come to know that which repository to be updated. So it is x86 architecture basically, and 64-bit is supporting. Perfect. Finally, it will clean up our workspace and complete the job. Okay. Now, if you look at it, what happened? This is my single workflow. When I execute it, it directly parallelly executed these two workflows. Perfect. So I hope you are clear on this part, right? Now we have one more condition. I already told you that we would be executing the job template in serially as well. How do we do that? So here I have a development test, and I'm going to do production this time. So what I should do, I should make sure that this is production. It is very critical. So I should make sure that development is completed, test is completed, then only I should run production. In that case, I will do a small parameter here, needs. What the first one is development. Mention the first job name, second is test. If these two jobs are executed, then only production will be getting executed. Okay. So let me save it and execute it again. I'm gonna save the serial execution part. I'm syncing it. If you look at it here, you would be able to see practice workflow. And if you go to the actions.yaml, we have defined the dependencies, right? Development and test. Perfect. Now we will go to the actions, and in the actions practice workflow, I'm going to execute a run workflow. Make sure that you will be refreshing the stage, because sometimes it won't show or it won't load the page. Look at it. So first, this is completed. Perfect. This is still on hold because this has to be completed. As soon as this is completed, it started. That means as soon as these two jobs are completed, this started. If you look at it, one thing, this was getting executed parallelly, this was also getting executed, but that time it was on pending, right? So these two are parallel and these are serial. So how do we make it serial and parallel? By default, it is a parallel execution, but if we want to make it serial, we can add a very small parameter, needs, and under the hood of needs, we have to define what are all the jobs to be executed before executing this job. All right, so we will take a break here and we will continue in the next lecture. Thank you.